What's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video. So a few updates today, kind of high level updates, and some of them I'll break down into individual videos over the next week as well. Things like the Vasil Hardfork got some updates in the mid-month update. The date has been confirmed. We also see bridges launching on Cardano. The ERC20 converter is live. Milkomeda bridge to bridge things like stablecoins, wrapped Ethereum or Bitcoin onto Cardano is live as well. Few individual updates on projects. I've also been given some whitelists to give away for an upcoming metaverse on Cardano. Timestamps will be below. Share the video out if you think others can benefit. Give it a like, comment as well, even if it's just for the algorithm to help get it out there. I do appreciate it. Let's jump into it. Okay, so we'll start out here with the mid-month update. This is the June hard fork for Cardano, which is going to bring some really big improvements to smart contracts and overall help decongestion on chain. So this is called the Vasil Hardfork, and we heard in the mid-month update that it is on track for June 29th. So we also heard that it has gone code complete and it now goes to QA testing, and they'll be testing and integrating over the next month or two as well to get everything ready for launch on June 29th, which is great to hear that they're at that stage. The important thing for me was the SIPs that are going to come in there. I'm not going to get into them here. I've talked a bit about them before. Also, I sat down with the Orbis team who are building an layer 2 solution on Cardano using rollups. I sat down with two members of that in the last few days, and that interview will come out tomorrow. We talk a lot more about scaling and everything on Cardano in that one. So big question I get on the hard fork as well is with regard to price. I'm not really going to get into it here. I will do a separate video on this. People ask, will we get a run up in the Cardano price? If you look at previous hard forks, yes, we have always got a run up. The market right now isn't looking, the overall crypto market is very uncertain right now, but I'll talk about that in a video, hopefully get that out by Friday as well. So what's up next? We have the ERC20 converter. So I done a video on this last week showing how to bridge your tokens from Ethereum over to Cardano. So I'll put a link to that one below. Right now, AGIX, which is Singularity Net, and NTX, which is NewNet, are the only tokens you can bring across. We are hopefully going to see more tokens added to this. People have asked, why aren't all the tokens there right now? I would say we're not going to see every Ethereum token put into this either, because they won't all be compatible. Unlike other bridges, what happens with a standard bridge within crypto is that the assets on one side, if you're bridging from one chain to another, the assets on the original chain, we'll say Ethereum in this case, are locked in a smart contract, and then they are minted, created, whatever you want to call it, on the other chain, Cardano in this case. And then if you want to go back, they get locked on the Cardano side and unlocked on the Ethereum side. With the ERC20 converter, what it does is it actually burns the tokens on the original chain. So that's on Ethereum. The tokens are destroyed and then they're minted on the Cardano side. But if you want to go back the other way, which you have to have it as a bi-directional bridge so people can actually go back if they wanted to, if the contract, the smart contract that was used to create the ERC20 token doesn't allow for minting more tokens, then you can't use something like the ERC20 converter, because you could burn them in the first place when you're going from Ethereum to Cardano. But if someone wants to go from Cardano back to Ethereum, you wouldn't be able to recreate them tokens on the Ethereum side. So for that, we will have other bridges. I'm going to get a video out looking at the different bridges building for Cardano, because there are a lot of different ones in the works at the minute as well. So maybe next week sometime I'll hopefully get that video out there. Okay, so on bridges then as well, we look at Milkomeda, which is an EVM sidechain for Cardano. So I've talked about this in previous videos, and I will try and get an updated video out in the next week or two, looking at some of the different protocols that have launched over there or that are going to launch fairly soon as well. So on the bridge, this is where you bring your tokens back from Milkomeda onto the Cardano chain. Previously, we could only bring back Milk-ADA, which is ADA. It's just called Milk-ADA on Milkomeda. And if you look here now, you can see a few more tokens have been added. And some of the important ones I would say are stablecoins like USDC, USDT, wrapped Bitcoin, and wrapped Ethereum. So where these actually come from is these are assets that were bridged into Milkomeda first, and then they are bridged from Milkomeda into Cardano. So a bit of a roundabout way to get these stablecoins or wrapped Bitcoin onto Cardano. Hopefully in time we're going to see these issued natively on the Cardano chain, but for now it's great to have these. We'll also see when projects like Liquid or Dana go live, they will bring stablecoins into the mix as well. Jed is out there. I'm not sure the latest on that. I do need to look into it, but it's good to have all these different options. And if you look here on Eternal, this is previously CC Vault for anyone who hasn't seen the change, but you can see I've already bridged in WBTC, USDC, and WETH, which is wrapped Ethereum. Now on the naming convention, MAD WBTC, the reason that it has MAD is because it comes from the Nomad bridge. So Nomad is the bridge that was used to bring it from Ethereum into Milkomeda first, and then you bring it from Milkomeda into Cardano. So a bit of a roundabout way. There was questions as well on the decimal, on the amount of them that were minted on Cardano. That's the Milkomeda contract. On the Cardano contract, when you look at it here, you can see with wrapped Bitcoin, there is 922 million wrapped Bitcoin created here. Now they are all locked, and they are only unlocked when people actually bridge across. Then the tokens are unlocked and sent to the person's wallet. The same with USDC. And what you notice is they are the same amount, only the decimal place is different on each of them. So they don't match up to the actual supply of wrapped Ethereum or wrapped Bitcoin. And the reason for that is Milkomeda have put out an article here talking all about it. And it's to do with how they wanted to create the biggest number possible on chain. They're not released into supply. They're only released when someone actually locks them on the Milkomeda side. They're then unlocked or released on the Cardano side as well. So for people who are interested in it, want to see the numbers behind it, why this happens, it's to do with how they're minted on the Cardano side and the maximum size the transaction can be, which puts into play what decimal places can be put in there as well. So I will leave a link to that article down below for anyone who wants to check it out. So then looking at Ledger support is now officially live for Cardano smart contracts. So if you look here, I done a previous video showing you workaround how you could install the 4.0.0 version of the Cardano app on Ledger to be able to use it to interact with smart contracts. And in particular, I showed the Wing Riders decks in that one because they had built a custom integration so that you could use your Ledger with the decks. So now it's official. When you go into Ledger Live, you'll be able to upgrade. If you go into Ledger Live and you don't see the prompt for version 4.0.0, you might need to upgrade the firmware on your Ledger. And if you look at this video here, normally there's a bar across the top there that will show you that you need to upgrade your Ledger to the latest firmware. And as a precaution, anytime you upgrade the firmware, make sure you always have your seed phrase. When I done upgrades, they generally go through and I don't need to re-input my seed phrase, but sometimes on the Ledger you might need to do that. And again, it will only be on the Ledger. It will never be online. You will never need to put in your Ledger seed phrase, your hardware wallet seed phrase anywhere online. It always goes in on the device and nowhere else. Other updates, so we got another block size increase from Cardano. This happened on Monday, gone by there just at the end of the epoch. So the block size has now increased to 88 kilobytes. Again, adds more throughput. Blocks are bigger, means you can fit more transactions into them. And when we get the hard fork, then this is really going to come into play because within each transaction, with the new SIPs that are going to come in, you won't need to include the script within every transaction as well. So that's going to make them transactions a lot smaller, which means we will fit a lot more transactions into blocks as well. We also got a preview of what the Ardana UX is going to look like. So again, I can leave links to this down below, but if you check out the Ardana Twitter, you'll see it here. Now, I haven't got a launch date for Ardana yet. I will need to talk to Ryan fairly soon, hopefully, but we are expecting this after the June hard fork. And I would say just on that, it's not going to be the June hard fork or the Vasil Hardfork at June 29th, and then everything launches on the 30th. Projects will have to, they will have a test net before, but they will need to make sure everything works well on the mainnet, and it will take a few weeks to a month or more to get their project out live on the mainnet after the hard fork happens. each project is going to be different on timeline. So as I start to get dates or expected dates for projects, I'll start putting them out as well. So just on World Mobile Token as well, I will have some of the World Mobile team on fairly soon to talk about the Earth Node auctions that are going to be coming up. So early staking rewards for Earth Node operators can now be claimed. So if you reserved an Earth Node, you can now claim your rewards and they get paid out on the next payout. Currently, the next one is on the 9th of May. And there's also going to be auctions. So for people who reserved a node and then didn't follow through, didn't hold their balance within the wallet during the, I think it was 6 months, then there's going to be auctions for them nodes. But as I say, I will have the team on fairly soon to talk about them in advance of that happening. Okay, and before we finish it up then, the giveaway that I have for this week is for an upcoming metaverse on Cardano. See a bit of buzz about them. IOHK, not sure if I'm pronouncing that name properly, but a few things that caught my eye. If you can see here on Twitter, they're already verified. That's not that easy to get. See a lot of people getting turned down when they try and get it. They've already raised $2 million in Dubai for this project. If you look, they are building on Unreal Engine, which means that I would expect a very high quality product. When you look at some of the samples they've already put out, then they do look really good. Fully doxed team. If you look over here on their site, you can see the team is doxed, which in my opinion is always a big plus because we see a lot of anonymous teams coming out with drops, and when a team is anonymous, there's always that risk or that it makes it a lot easier for a team to walk away from what they promise. If you look at the roadmap here as well, you can see what they have planned for their project, for the metaverse they are aiming to build. The whitelist to be in with a chance for them, just put Cardano Metaverse in the comments down below. I'll pick a few random ones. I'm not sure exactly how many I have, 3, 4, whatever it is. I'll pick random comments from below. Share the video out if you think others can benefit. Like, I really do appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.